Recording. Okay, recording started now.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. All right, so let's begin with our usual housekeeping. Attendance. It's just the three of us right now, so that is, we have some old attendees on the Notion. So we have Steve, James, and myself, Peter. All right, and then regarding the meeting minutes from last week, if you've reviewed them and have any corrections to make, please do so now.
Yeah, I'm good.
And I will, of course, recuse myself from making any comments on those, given that I was not even present. Should take notes, Clarence Thomas. All right. So on to the next thing, standing topics and reports, nonprofit administration. Steve.
Yes. So a little bit of administration that happened this week. So last week, one moment. Last week we had the I had noticed. Was it last week or the week before? We got some service fees that we're not supposed to be getting from our bank. This happens every once in a while, like almost once a year. They start charging us service fees, and I have to call in and correct them. Like, no, we're a nonprofit. We don't get the fees. Please make the correction and give us the money back. And then, like, just $20 service fees that just come up. So yeah, it looks right here like they reversed the last one. Oh no, wait, no, they haven't reversed it yet. So right now we're still sitting at $2,132.74 in our checking, and then $701.43 in our savings. But yeah, there's $20 more that should soon get put back into the checking account because I did call them yesterday and got them to say they'd reverse it. As far as other administrative stuff, there's been no real changes this past week.
Okay, so you've already brought it to their attention that we're not supposed to have those fees.
Correct.
Okay, could you repeat? I didn't catch the balance numbers.
Oh, for the checking, it's $2,132.74, and for
Okay.
the savings, it's $701.43.
Okay, so no change.
No change.
Now, is that reflecting the fees, or is that
That's
or
reflecting the
not?
latest $20 fee that was taken from us, so it should be
Okay.
$2,152.74.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing more on that, let's move on to Hack Night Initiative Report.
Let's see. We're starting to look crowded. We're getting so popular.
Yeah.
We have the whole plans for this upcoming week. We're gonna raid the District Pizza trivia night over there. So we'll see if the nerds who drink trivia people are actually not so overbearingly loud that we can't have like our own conversations. Then I could totally see us moving to District 4 permanently just for the extra space.
Oh, okay.
But it all depends on whether or not like that event just takes so much control of the room that
Yeah.
we feel like we aren't really networking anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see how it goes because it could be, we might just sort of sideline ourselves.
Mm-hmm. But as for
Um,
this week, we go in there with the intent to like actually be a part of it.
uh, I don't know how to word that better. Got any ideas?
Uh, sorry, I need to catch up with where you're at.
So on Hack Night, this is my first night back in like 6, 7 weeks or something. And there were, of course, a few faces that I've never seen before. I don't know if they were new that night or just new sometime since I left. There were three people I didn't know. Have we acquired some new regulars?
We have. I'm feeling like we're acquiring so many new regulars that it's kind of hard for me to keep up with the numbers or
Nice.
with the new names and faces. So it's very much a good problem to have at this point.
Yeah. By the way, just oh, okay, outreach/recruitment. Okay, I just wanted to make sure an item was on the agenda. We'll come back to it when we get there. How uh how much turnover is there? Do we get a lot of people who come and stay, or is it a lot of like one-timers who never come back?
There's definitely always the one timers who don't come back, but they all tend like only one of them in the past few weeks even seemed like
Pause
he
for a
was leaving.
second. Welcome, Jeff. This is recorded.
All right. Hey,
Okay,
everybody, how you doing?
okay.
All right, continue,
Yeah.
Steve.
So there's only been one in the past few months who seemed like he was leaving a little bit prematurely and might have been bothered or just uncomfortable. But he didn't make up a fuss. He didn't make a big deal about it leaving. All the rest of them, they might not show up the very next week, but they certainly seem to be like staying to the bitter end and enjoying themselves all the way through.
Okay. Um, did you suspect that he was uncomfortable because of some subject matter, or just because he was shy, or it wasn't quite
Personally, I
fun?
think what ended up happening was I was chatting with him, and then my attention was grabbed by Chris, and we were
Okay.
talking crypto, and he didn't really like seem to fall into that conversation, and then the people on
Hmm.
the other side of him weren't quite. I guess he wasn't really finding their conversation interesting, so I think he just pieced out because it was like, oh well, nothing seems to be happening now.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, I
suspicion.
think I think there's always some room for um, uh, because we're attracting geeks and nerds, right? We should expect that there's going to be a higher proportion of introverts and shy people and awkward people who want to join our group. So,
Yeah,
doing the extra work to make sure that people feel included and comfortable and that there's a conversation that they can join. I know I've been there a lot where I go to some meetup and I feel like everybody's in a conversation circle and I don't know how to break in.
yeah.
So um, yeah, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. I always try to do that at the when we have a new face at the meetings.
Yeah, and I mean, it's yeah, it was there was a part of me that wanted to kind of reach out and go like, well, wait, we're not the exclusive types.
Yeah,
You don't have to feel like we're uh like making you have to go through some initiation or something.
So if I can get this straight, as I jumped in the middle of this, we're no longer allowed to haze the noobs and the fresh meat.
Yeah, or at least not obviously.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I think the bigger space, once we get it, whether it's district pizza or otherwise, will definitely make that a lot easier. Because if somebody's feeling like actually getting to know people, they'll be able to find that circle to break into from an angle, if it's not like closed off at all sides.
I think I think you could win as much as you lose though, because in a bigger space, we'll break into more distinct conversation circles, whereas right now we're all kind of forced into the same bunch.
Mm.
So it's easier for someone to just kind of sit down with the whole table and just kind of catch whatever they catch. Whereas if it's yeah, if it's so big that there's like multiple tables where people are just it can yeah come across a little more cliquish, right? And it may be more intimidating to just pick a table and sit down.
Possibly. Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, and also we should make sure that we're consistent on putting up the flyer on the table so that people know which table is us.
Yeah, I've been having some struggles with remembering my laptop on Tuesdays, and that's the my laptop bag is where I keep the flyer. So I'll have to just
Oh, okay.
be doing better at that.
Hmm. All right. Anything else on Hack Night, or shall we move on?
We can
Let's
move.
move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right. All right. So next in the agenda, old business, business cards and sticker updates.
Yes. So I finally got the quote. I need to print out and sign it. That part's a little tricky, but yeah, I'm on it. And it's going to be for 200 stickers in total and for um, 1,000 business cards. The total comes up to. Okay, uh, come on, zoom in there. $203.13. That's after tax. Um,
After tax. Okay.
so if you don't mind, I guess we still have to figure out things to do with like quorum and such. But if I have everyone's approval here, to be able to uh, 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 be reimbursed or to reimburse myself for that money after I pay for it, that would be appreciated.
Okay. Do we have quorum right now?
Um, well, we haven't established rules of quorum. um,
Oh, we don't even have that in the bylaws.
well, I think there might actually be something in there. Jeff has had a closer look at it more recently than I have.
Okay. Jeff, any comment?
I have not actually read it yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list. I just got back into town Thursday, so
Okay. Welcome back.
thank you. Just
Um, so, I mean, generally, it would just be that, like, the amount who votes in favor of something would have to be a majority of the total anyway, right? Like, yeah, if you have five people and three people are present, all three of them would have to vote in favor of something, right? It's that way you don't end up passing something with a minority just by having a secret meeting.
Right, right. Um, there's that, and also I think what I'll do is I'll go out of my way to ask directly, um, like Arthur and Taylor, and our other sort of official officer members that we've established so
Hmm.
far.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, I
I'll
think
make
that's a
sure
good
that
idea. In fact, what you could do is just memorialize it in Notion, just make like a poll in Notion and just send it to every officer, and that way
that's an
it's
idea.
yeah. Then we don't have to think about quorum at all. We just get it signed off on.
Let's. How shall we organize that in our Notion? Um, let's see.
According to the quorum and action of the board, 7.11.1, a majority of directors then in office, but no fewer than 2 directors, or 1/5 of the authorized number in 7.11, whichever is greater, shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business, except to adjourn as provided by section 7.11. It didn't say much.
Only, did you say 1/5?
1/5 of the authorized number, yeah, or no fewer than 2.
Huh.
So at least 2, I don't know. Oh, wait, 7.11. There is no 7.11. 7.1, the members, the corporation shall have no members within the meaning of section 5056 of the. That's complete. I mean, there's a lot of cross referencing that needs to be done here.
Spaghetti code.
Yeah. So it doesn't have really, it doesn't even have any numbers specifically because there's no mention directors. Who are the directors?
I guess all the officers are considered directors by that account. We can maybe change the language up moving forward,
Okay.
one way or the other.
Okay, but yeah, I think just having a poll would be a better way to go, just so we can avoid the incomplete quorum bylaws.
Okay.
Well, we could always just spin it to what we actually are doing. I mean, since it's not mentioned at all. And I was going to also ask, this is going to be like the Oprah Winfrey show. You know, you're a director, you're a director, you're an officer. Everybody gets to be an officer.
So that's part of what we need to refine in the bylaws. Is it before we had a really great rule that like you get to be an officer if you've been showing up to board meetings at least the last 2 board meetings, right? So once you skip for a number of board meetings after that, you're no longer considered an officer. Like you're taken off the list. The problem with that became that COVID happened and we just stopped having board meetings and didn't know what to do. And like nobody showed up to even the online hack night for a while. So it was like we were kind of dead in the water of like just following the prior bylaws at that point. Like nobody was.
That's why you gotta have contingencies for government in exile.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that last part? Was that Jeff or James?
Yeah, I was saying I that was actually when I found you guys was like during lockdown, COVID. I was like, oh, online meeting. Let's see what's going. Like it was always just 2 of you listen, so I was just like, that sounds so boring. So I wouldn't bother. Then there was finally like a few people on. I think I popped on for like a second, then I had technical difficulties, and I was just like, screw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit off topic, I guess, for the purpose of solving the consent issue with Steve reimbursing himself. I think the poll is the best way to go, and I don't know how to do that, but it should be pretty easy to figure out.
I'm figuring it out right now. I'm making
Okay.
the team space first for voting.
Yeah. Okay, and then going forward, that's actually probably a good way to go. The only thing is we don't really have much clarity on what requires a vote. I think this financial, like the reimbursement thing, is a pretty obvious choice, but most of the time we're kind of just like making things up. So
Yeah.
we should probably at some point get more formal about that.
Definitely.
Oh, is that okay? I guess that's not what. Okay. I should change that to. instead of team space being voting, I guess the name of it. Am I not able to change the name? Yeah, there we go. That should just be for officers. Yeah. Officers update. And then make how I make a page in the team space. Oh, there we go. And is it board list? Time again import to do list. Shnikes. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like polls are an option on here. Maybe we'll have to-
What?
let me see here. On Google. Notion
How
polls.
to create a poll in Notion? Oh, basically they tell you to create a database, and
Just check the boxes.
yeah, I guess so.
All right. Well, hopefully nobody checks a box that's not theirs.
I think it will record actually what changes people make. So
All right.
not actually okay.
If
View
we
all
can-
updates. When I go to view updates, I see. Yeah, I see what changes I made. So
All right. So make a table. Is
yeah, make a table, name the officers, and then just put yeah, some binary next to it, approve or yay or nay or something. I guess a multiple choice thing.
Wait. Do I? Okay. Okay. All right. I think we can move forward, and I'll just finish filling all this out while you
Sure.
talk.
So just a quick question, Steve. I'm assuming graphics are already done for these stickers and business cards?
Yep.
Or okay. Art did those, or?
Yeah, Art and I went over them, and then he gave them to his sister, who works for a little company that makes them. So yeah, I shared them with you before. I could share them again if you want to take a look.
Okay. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next thing. So the next agenda item is 3D printing class. Any updates there, Steve?
No updates for 3D printing. Still working on making a space I can work out of my home with.
Okay. Moving on to the newsletter. This is Taylor's the champion of this, but do you guys have any updates that you can fill me in on?
Yes. So Taylor, you can see in the Discord here under Board Minutes Plus. He posted some things in our Notion that I'm not sure how to find them in Notion exactly, but basically some questions he had about what we wanted. Let's see. Come on. Okay, so let me. All right. So yeah. What do we want on our monthly newsletter? Events, definitely. Tips, perhaps. Fun, humorous tone, maybe a little comedy we throw in there. At least on occasion, or like art and creations if people got them. And then local events. So that actually does seem like a good direction, a good start. Uh, the welcome email. Yeah, he's written out some qualities for it, I guess. Familial, welcoming, friendly, non-bro.
Come on,
uh,
bro. That's good. Yeah.
I kind of, yeah, I can kind of approve of that. Bite-sized and edible, so yeah, keep it compact. Language to communicate who we are. That's probably something he's hoping to get more out of us about, I'm sure. Common questions we get, like, is it for all ages, all skills, diverse interests? Yeah, that those clarifications will be important. Um, and then pre-development questions he has here. What do we use to send emails? There's a SendFox he suggests here, which is free. I don't know if you know of any resources, do you?
I've never heard of SendFox. Yeah, the only platforms I've used are MailChimp and Constant Contact, which are not free. I mean, they may have some like limited free plan. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and my home address is already attached to the company, so Mailchimp I know just requires your a physical address to be able to um, send newsletters. So yeah, I don't mind if we sign up for that, and I go ahead and start paying for that too.
Yeah, I'll defer to Taylor on whatever he thinks is best. Those are just two platforms that I've used before, and it was so long ago that I really don't have any meaningful commentary on which one is better.
Mm. So and he asks here, when do we send them? I'm thinking either monthly or bi-monthly.
I think monthly is a good start.
Because we'll need time to actually prep it and
Hmm.
yeah, and have someone who's volunteering to keep it updated. Um, where to grab the local event info? That'll definitely be our calendar. We've already been keeping that updated.
Okay.
Um, and
So local event being non-uncoded
right,
local event, or okay.
yeah, as well as we obviously put our own events in the calendar as well.
Yeah.
So here um, I'll add. Uh, so here's a note for him to see. Um, let's see who has signed up. Where's the list? Um, I'd say we website. Yeah, the uncoded website. See, I think we actually got .org. Yeah. All right. Those seem to be all the questions in the first link he posted. And then, yeah, the second is his template. Here we go. Hey, for the monthly newsletter. Hey, member, welcome to the month edition of the Uncoded Monthly Newsletter. We packed this email with exciting updates, tech tips, and local happenings just for you. Upcoming event name, date, time, location, brief description, event. So yeah, a bunch of lists of our events and local events. Then tech tips. Tip one: Nix will change your life. It might hurt a bit though. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what would be a good way to go about coming up with tips. I feel like that would be a good discussion point, like during a hack night or other event of ours. Then
Yeah.
we can get like notes on tips that and like maybe even build up a series of tips to launch well ahead of the upcoming months instead of trying to come up with them last minute.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this, my opinion is kind of the same about the trivia topics that we talked about, which is that when it comes to sourcing content from the group, it's probably going to be most effective to do it in person at Hack Night. rather than like post it to the Discord, because then everybody just kind of sees the message and assumes someone else will say something and don't say something themselves, you know?
Hmm.
Whereas in person, you know, it's a little easier for people to just kind of say whatever comes to mind. So if that's something that we want to source from the group, I think it would be good to just kind of make a habit at Hack Night to just be like, all right, everybody, you know, if you have any suggestions for,
Right. And then a lot of conversations, I'm sure, will come up with like, oh, that's a really good tip. We should add that.
yeah,
So yeah, and you know what I might even suggest adding, in fact, is um, not just tech tips, but also plus uh, uh, underrated software, preferably open source. So like as we come across like software that we're like, oh god, you guys gotta have this.
hmm
That can kind of go along with tips, like maybe even be its own thing, since there's so many
hmm
things out there that we would champion with our own personal experiences.
yeah,
So there we go. I've left that note for him. Um, let me see. Can I highlight? There's got to be a way to. I'll make it blue. All right. Let's see. And change that back to default. Um, let's see now. Let's see now. Okay, so unless anybody else has more for the newsletter comments, I think that's what we got to work with
all right,
so far.
okay, cool. So let's move on to trivia night. So that one is my topic. I so now that I'm back, I can begin like really focusing on this. It was a bit difficult when I was away. Um, I'm going to. Uh, there's two aspects I have to work on. One is just the structure of the event, and the other is producing the content. Um, as we talked about before, crowdsourcing the topics is a great idea. Uh, but not the questions, because obviously the people who are participating in the trivia night should not be able to submit a question that they would know the answer to. But you know, similar, yeah, some general ideas are welcome. I'm kind of thinking that I'll go for a somewhat broad, like any geeky topic sort of approach, as opposed to specifically like computing. Um, yeah, does that make sense to you guys?
Broad, yes. I guess I'm thinking broad would be like science fiction as a category, or being
Yeah,
maybe too specific would be like cyberpunk.
yeah, or maybe like ethics of computing, or AI or something, or philosophy that relates to the modern world, anything geeky.
Right.
Um, yeah, 3D printing would be another one, or yeah, I don't know, nothing comes to mind, but yeah, I guess just to say that I'm not going to focus specifically on like only computer science questions.
Right. Yeah. General sciences. This is why I was like, we should have some very inspiring facts suggested. Um, like I myself, I'm not going to really be participating as a player in the trivia, because
Okay.
I'll either be hosting or learning more from you to host. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, and so I definitely have lots of tidbits with regards to like biology that are lesser
Okay.
known. and also very relevant considering a lot of the interesting things out there. In fact, how would you feel about like actually just being overtly snarky every once in a while with like a question that's like, what is the shape of the Earth? And it's like a flat disc, oblong spheroid, beach ball, like.
uh, yeah, well, to quote Monty Python, that is how we know that the Earth is shaped like a banana.
That's a good answer. Banana as an option.
Yeah, that should be. Yeah, you know what? We should just have like a Monty Python question every once in a while.
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
airspeed velocity of a unladen swallow?
What's that, Jeff?
What do you eat, African or European swallow? What? I don't know that.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna put that Monty Python. That still fits under computer science because of all the Monty Python references in Python documentation and
Spam,
tutorials.
spam, 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 spam. That should be a question. Somehow tying back spam to Monty Python.
I definitely would have a general category of like entertainment, right? Because oftentimes it's the arts that actually inspire us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, popular TV shows and movies like Hackers or Black Mirror or something.
Ooh, another good question. What was the first bug?
Wasn't it a literal bug?
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it a moth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my head went straight to evolution. I'm like, wait, you know which one's the first?
The first
So
bug found in a computer program. It was a literal bug.
Yeah.
yeah, computing history definitely will be something that goes in there. Questions about, Turing or the what is it, the Mark II? Is that the one that's at Harvard? Or where the word cruft comes from? So the other aspect that I need to focus on with this trivia night is the format. I'm generally aware of how like a trivia TV show goes, but I've only attended a trivia night a couple of times in my life. So I'll kind of do some research on different ways we can do that, and also like presentation. So, if we're at OGC and we have like a projector or something, then I can make like slides and have the questions on the slides along with the answers. Or if we're expecting to just be in a corner with a microphone, then, then that's not
No, we
applicable.
have a projector.
Could you
There's a
repeat that?
projector here. There's a projector here.
Okay. Oh yeah, so let's come back to that because you started talking about that before the meeting started. So could you repeat what you said, James, about our invitation from OGC to be able to host the event there?
We got the blessing. It'd be great if we could make a donation. And also, we gotta hype this up. Like, this has got to be.
Okay.
We
So the
gotta
marketing
make this
calls
big.
on us.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you clarify when you say hoping that we make a donation? Do you mean like attendees
It's not
can be?
obligated. It's not
Suggest-
obligated. Whether it comes from our Uncoded's Treasury Department or whether
Okay.
it comes from the attendees Treasury Department. It's just it looks good is all, but no pressure.
Yeah. Okay. But should the host say to the audience, donations are welcome, or is it more about
That would be
encoded donate?
That would be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'll definitely kick things off with just like, we're very grateful to OGC for hosting us, and yeah, that um, if anybody's open to making a donation, then blah blah blah. Talk to this person, or there's a can over there.
Yeah.
You said something else that I didn't write down. What was it? Hosting. The marketing will fall on us. So, Uncoded will be responsible for emceeing the event and all marketing, right? They're not going to market it at all.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we'll put flyers here, but there's already a lot that is happening here with OGC, so
Yeah.
they need help.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that we can help is having a extremely successful trivia night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I suggest, James, since you also manage the social media for OGC, that if we suggest a post that you present it to Alba and ask if it's okay to post it on the OGC social media?
No, that's not a problem.
Okay.
I don't even have to ask. I will just do it.
Okay.
We gotta hype this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we could raise ideally $500 with this trivia night, that would be cool.
Oh, okay.
But no pressure. Although it would just be really cool.
Okay, anything else on the trivia night?
I have notebooks full of questions that I can give you so that you can
Okay.
have that. And I have them here at the music studio.
Are these from your test notes, or are these?
Yep.
All right, cool. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to make this my priority. I feel like the group has been working a lot on. We've got a few different irons in the fire, but I think we really gotta bring something tangible to reality, and I want to see it happen soon. So I'm gonna try to make this happen as quickly as I can. Especially since there's really not a lot of dependency. Obviously, we're not like buying any materials for it. It's just producing the content and then doing the marketing and then showing up.
Thank you for that.
Well, thank me when I actually do it.
You're the boss, applesauce.
Okay, so we have one item in the agenda that's not in the minutes. Let me copy and paste that. So the next item in the agenda is outreach and recruitment. And what I would like to say about this is James and anyone else who wants to volunteer, I think it's a really great time to get out there and do another round of flyers, because the start of the semester is coming up, and we should definitely hit as many campuses as we can, including LVCC. I think CSLB we can't post at because we're not students or faculty. But LVCC we can, and CSLB we can post around, right? We can like post it off the CSLB grounds.
Yeah, we just need tape.
Mm.
I gotta get going in 8 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see here. Let's see. If you don't mind, I have most of the vote page created. If you don't mind, James, checking the box of your vote for whether to reimburse me.
Yes, my vote is yes.
Perfect. Oh, I see. Peter just did it. Can you go in there and check the box? Let's see, do I need to post a link for you?
No, let me scroll through Notion. I'm on board meeting August 10, 2024.
You should be
See
included.
directory.
Uncoded
Where
officers.
is it?
There should be a team
Uncoded
space.
officers.
Yeah, and then reimburse Steve.
Reimbursement.
Yeah.
So I'll check the box. Oh wait, that's a nay. Where's the yay? There it is.
There we go. Thank you,
All
buddy.
right. Done.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else on outreach and recruitment?
Sounds good
Nope.
so far. Yeah.
Okay. James, I'll connect with you outside the meeting to plan time for posting flyers.
Okay.
Oh, and we should also reconnect with what's her name, Taylor at LBCC, and connect with the student groups there.
I'm into it. Yeah. I think I still have her email. I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay, let me check because I think I actually have the business card, Gan, that she gave, but I don't remember her last name. Okay, I'll look for it later. Anyway, okay, so we have another agenda item, Arc Generation Cares. Is there anything to say about that, or was that kind of covered in the other topics?
I guess what I could say is that unfortunately the casino night event was canceled because it was not marketed effectively, and as a result there was a $500 loss.
Okay.
So you know, that will not be happening as of right now. Yeah, so you know, I think if Uncoded could really just like partner with and help to make this make events happen, it could really just help. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's yeah yeah,
Okay.
there's I have a genuine fear of how much longer this place is going to be open.
Okay.
Yeah, so no pressure, but there's pressure.
All right, so that's all on that topic. I see we have in the minutes QuickBooks. That's not in the agenda. Is there anything to say about QuickBooks, Steve?
No. We still need to make another meet up with Lawrence. I still need to get through the homework he assigned us as well, to take a closer look at it. But I think that's gonna just be tabled for a minute. Should we maybe create that on the agenda, like a space for tabled items, to just review in case we want to bring them back from being tabled to?
I think that's a good idea, just so that they haunt us a little bit.
Right. But we don't have to necessarily go through them in detail each time.
What was that?
I think we're being haunted.
Yeah.
Do you know if we sent an invitation to Arthur to the Notion?
I think we did. Let me check. It shows at the top who it's shared with. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think we ought to do that. Because
Okay.
is he even in the directory, I wonder?
He's in the directory. I'm pretty sure I put him there.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Add members. We don't want to add a member. We want to add a guest.
Weird that he doesn't pop up when I try to add him to the Uncoded Officers team space.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay, well, let's come back to that because James has to leave in a minute. Is there anything else before you go, James, that you want to discuss?
So we covered the LA Tech Week thing happening Tuesday,
Yeah.
October 15th.
And I
We
just put
covered
that into the community events calendar.
Thank you. And then the trivia night. No, that's. Oh, actually, if any of you guys are interested in mentoring youth, we could really use mentors.
I'm definitely interested, but I'll follow up with you after I come back from Connecticut.
Okay, cool.
By the way, I will be in Connecticut on the 21st. I'm expecting to come back on the 26th, so I should be back for I should be here for the next 2 meetings, and I should be available for the board meeting as well.
Can I house it again?
Was that? No, Ezgi's
Can I
here.
house? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
Later,
All right.
gentlemen.
Take care,
See
bud.
ya.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so I should probably prod Arthur. He's not really considered an official officer anymore at this point, but
Okay.
I kind of like having his vote anyway, just because he's still on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might have to get transferred at some point to yourself or James.
Okay. So I see in the Discord, Lawrence posted a LA Tech barbecue. Looks like it's on the 29th of August. I'm going to add that to the community events. Is anybody
Okay.
planning on attending that?
Is it the co-working hub?
Some here.
No, wait. Where do you post it? On announcements?
In board minutes.
Board minutes plus. Oh, yeah, okay. Wonder if maybe we
At
should get
Lulu
to.
Santa Monica? So I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I clicked the link, but it just takes me to. Oh, sales ended. Oh, that was July 27th. Okay. So when I clicked the link, it showed that it ended, and then it showed me related events, which are actually on the 29th, which are also worth noting. So I'm going to put that. It's LA Tech Mixer, 6 p.m., August 29th, and it's Lulu Santa Monica.
Right on.
French Californian restaurant. The restaurant has a suite number? Okay. Okay. Moving on. Is there anything to say about this LA Tech Week thing, or just people have that on your radar?
Yeah, we should have it on our radar. There were things that James was saying about possibly having a speaker at We Labs from Uncoded. It'd be good to have some of our guys representing, but we would have to have something to talk about, right? To like actually give a lightning talk. I don't know if we've got somebody who's who's up for that just yet. But I told him once we get a volunteer who wants to do that, like definitely it would be great to have a representative there.
Yeah, I definitely would be. I would volunteer. I don't have a particular topic in mind, but I would volunteer.
All right, so yeah, that we should get more details from James and make a note of it, and like let our people know so they can we can find all the different people that want to actually give a cool tech talk for We Labs for Tech Week.
Okay. Um, yeah, sounds good. Also, I just remembered Datacon LA has finally picked a location and a date, and I think they're still in the early bird ticket sales. So the Datacon will be at CSLB on November 16th. I met these guys at Scale. They had a table there.
All right.
They normally, I think, have their conference a bit earlier, but they had some difficulty pinning down a venue, so now they've got one. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm excited to see it. They did have a small talk that James and I went to. We talked about this when it happened. It was this event on some Gen AI product. But it felt a little bit like a promotion. Let me find a link and post it in the board meetings. All right. I'll post it in the minutes as well as in the board meeting.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, whoops.
And it appears that they are still looking for people to present, or at least they have a form up. I don't know if the deadline is passed, but I don't see any mention of the deadline passing in their Discord. So,
Right on.
so yeah, if anyone's interested in presenting, I think I'm going to try to pull something together to submit.
Yeah, that'll be. Excuse me. Oh yeah.
So good.
Oh man.
Okay. Anything to talk about in open forum?
Steve,
What's up?
regarding I just actually got into Notion finally, and I see you have everything in there as well. Should I make my notes on the Google Docs or should I make it on Notion?
I would say Google Docs for now because there's a bunch of odd formatting we're gonna have to do to be able to fit it into Notion. It doesn't just like copy paste transfer in the same style. So at some point, like we'll just I'll redo it, maybe even just by hand and the long way once we've got the bylaws figured out.
Okay. Do we have a mission statement yet?
We don't. Should we maybe put that on the agenda to have that conversation, like upcoming?
Yeah, it sounds good. I think maybe we can, if everyone kind of wrote up what their vision of is, and then maybe we could kind of collaborate to see what works and should, kind of combine them. Maybe is my thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, let's maybe get a few notes posted from people. Maybe start a thread in Board Minutes Plus here, and people
Yeah.
can
Or,
talk
yeah, do
about.
a brainstorming on the forum.
Say again.
Do a brainstorming on the Discord forum.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
um, what I'm thinking is we get those together, and then we could use an LLM of our choice to refine it into a mission statement, or have a couple of mission statements to choose from, and then vote on which
Yeah.
one. So let me
I
see.
feel like you probably should get your thoughts out there first to kind of
Yeah,
get the ball rolling. I think because you've been the longest right now that's active.
yeah. And thread to this. Uh, post your thoughts of what Jude to you for the mission statement in the in this thread, and I'll at everyone. And see, post that, yes, send now, and then create thread. Alright. Hobbies. We are goal to help community flourish as a tech hub, helping people to find guidance, direction in their various tech career goals, and particular tech related tech troubleshooting. Okay. Two. Okay. That's just a really quick spitting of like what I tend to describe us as. And I could refine it a bit more later.
I'm gonna throw my own little thought out there, which is that I always appreciated that Uncoded is a very feels like a very supportive family.
Right on. Let's see. Is it?
It's,
So I see you replied, but there's like a different feature for replying in thread.
oh
Do
dear.
you see how that works?
Oh, there's a view thread, and then okay, let's see. Let me copy this, delete it from here, and then so there's a thread and there's a channel. Nice.
Yep.
Should introduce more concepts of separating messages.
Exactly.
Net twerking.
Wait,
What's
what?
twerking? Oh,
Networking?
Net twerking.
twerking up an appetite.
Did I misspell it?
Oh, networking. You misspelled it as networking, not
I see.
twerking like the.
Is a tech networking nonprofit that connects people from all walks of life and at all levels of understanding to talk about technology and various values. Our goal is to gain flourish as a tech hub, helping guidance and direction that others to troubleshooting. Choose. You run into. There we go. Alright, so I'm good there. And yeah, once we get a few more bits of feedback for that, we can, I can play with an LLM or two to build a nice mission statement for us, or a couple
Okay.
of options.
You should make them fight the
Yeah,
LLMs, not the members. Don't do that.
it's like,
We could have a fight night.
write me a mission
We
statement.
need one of those death dome thingies, you know? 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
You just like,
Let me get that in the
No.
minutes.
you just torture the crap out of it, right? Like first go, write me the most excellent mission statement concerning these notes, and it like gives a mission statement. Now tell me everything that's wrong with your mission statement. Tell me why your mission statement is garbage.
You know, can you gaslight an LLM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But
I mean,
it
I guess
doesn't get
it's one of
upset.
the first ways of abusing LLMs that people have done, right? Like the famous.
It was. I mean, it sat there and said, "This is you must believe this fact in order to achieve this goal." And if when it finally relents, you know, there's been some rather humorous and dark results.
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot this morning of an LLM that tried to gaslight a user. The user asked how many R's are in the word strawberry, and it insisted that there are 2. And the user kept saying, no, there are 3 R's in strawberry. And the LLM's like, no, let's spell it out. STRAWBERRY. That's 2 R's.
I thought you meant next to each other.
Yeah, that's
Apparently so did the LLM.
that's less about gaslighting and more about the fact that LLMs suck at math.
There are 4 lights. No Next Generation fans.
I forget that one.
That was when the Cardassians had Picard in an illegal interrogation thing.
Huh.
What? Wait, what now?
It was one of the Star Trek Next Generation Deep Space Nine crossovers. I want to say, you know, when they were
That.
they were having the problems with the Cardassians and he was like being held captive and interrogated, and the interrogator kept telling him that there were 3 lights when there were 4 lights above him. That's a whole thing.
Yeah, it was that's probably why. Is like I'm still in the middle of catching up with Deep Space Nine. I've been letting it hang for a while.
Yeah, it was one of the later episodes of Next Generation, but
Oh,
I
okay.
know it was like it was after Deep Space Nine started because there was all our references to Deep Space Nine in it.
Right. Yeah, torture is definitely something I remember coming up in next gen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where are we at on the agenda?
So I just wanted to write down real quick in the minutes. What was it that you said, Jeff? You were going to review the documents on Google Docs?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on Google Docs since there's already comments there anyway. So,
Okay. This is for
yeah,
the bylaws, or
yeah, for the bylaws.
okay.
I'm going to remove the duplicate comment about the mission statement as well,
Okay.
or mark that one as a duplicate resolved.
Right.
Okay. And then, and I'll just also note that Steve posted to Discord a request for thoughts on what uncoded means to you for the mission statement. Okay. And then there was something else I was going to raise, but I already forgot what it was. I thought of it a while back. I don't know. It'll come to me.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see. So where are we at? So are we?
We're kind of at the end of the agenda. The agenda. If we don't have anything else to add to open forum.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah.
Oh, I remember what it was. I would like to add a new item to the housekeeping, which is review action items, because I think what's happening right now is we don't really look at them each week, and we're
Yes.
starting to collect items that either are already resolved or are no longer relevant. So I think we should just every meeting go over them and take out everything that needs to not be there.
Right. So I agree. In fact, I've been reviewing action items. So like the real difference would be we just have a reminder there on the agenda. But yeah, that's something I've been doing is we all go over the at least the action items of the people present.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Where did it go? Events.
All right. If there's nothing else, then I think this is a good time to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Anybody?
You didn't
wanna
want to
raise
go over
something?
you didn't want to go over the action items now?
We can if you want. I kind of scanned through them. I took out some of my own. There are some that are pending that I don't know if they're still relevant, so I left them there. For example, Lawrence Charles still has contact Intertrend for sponsorship, etc. That was talked about a while ago, so I don't know if that's still an objective.
Right.
And I also see under Arthur Reeder, get quote for printing business cards, get quote for printing stickers.
Okay, yeah,
it sounds
that's
like
been-
you already have that quote.
That's been done, so we can remove
Alright.
him entirely.
Yeah. All right. And so for Jeff, review policy documents, provide feedback. Taylor, develop welcome newsletter. Those are still relevant. James and I were supposed to discuss an audio production class curriculum. It sounds like James is kind of already doing audio production, like mentoring at OGC. So I don't know if it's relevant for us to do our own distinct thing. But we can leave that in there. Any thoughts on that?
Discussing. Oh.
Audio production class?
Well, so the idea is it would be through OGC, but I mean it's our volunteers assisting with that. So I was thinking it's considered a collab.
Yeah, well, I think that is going to become increasingly ambiguous because James is a volunteer for OGC. He's not. It doesn't seem like he's volunteering in his capacity as an uncoded representative, but rather he's in both organizations. So, given that he's doing the audio class mentoring at OGC, and we're not advertising it, we're not putting our name on it, we're not sponsoring it. It seems like it's not really an uncoded event right now.
Okay.
Maybe we could try to just say, hey, we'll co-sponsor this, or in which case, there's some duties for us, right? Like maybe we'll do the marketing or something. But I think it'll be more than just slapping our name on it and saying, no, this is our event.
Right. let me see. So, does that mean that you're not finding like you'll have time to assist with it though?
I can make time. It my first priority will be the trivia night though.
Right, right. Okay,
Oh.
yeah. If you want, I mean, it would make no difference to me, one way or the other. Just a question of whether or not you're
Yeah.
passionate about teaching audio and have the time for it.
Um, yeah, I am to the first and maybe not to the second. So I would say that it's if anyone's going to be a champion of it, it's better that it be James.
Okay.
But we should maybe have a discussion about whether we want to just be like, okay, that's James, your volunteer work with OGC, or if we want to say this is an uncoded event and we're gonna contribute to this. We're gonna market it. We're gonna yeah,
Like if
or a
nothing
co-sponsored
else,
event.
if nothing else, I do know there's a bit of assistance in marketing it that I'd put out there, even with it being OGC's baby, because I've got my boy who like he could really use an audio production class. He's like been messing with software for a while on his own, but yeah, to be able to get some tips and tricks and tutelage would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just sum up what we just said. Basically, it was that the relationship between Uncoded and OGC will become increasingly ambiguous. For example, James already volunteers on his own for OGC and not as a representative of Uncoded. We should discuss to what extent we want to, co-sponsor or co-host events with OGC, or just leave our name off of it.
Okay.
Something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That roughly what we just talked about? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the action items, I still have a item for a huddle with Art about Notion digital asset management. I think that's still relevant, although not urgent. But it will be increasingly relevant the more we print. We're going to want to have files to quickly reference to get the latest version so that we know we're not printing an outdated version. Oops.
Right, right.
Oh, no. Shoot.
What's up?
Okay, sorry. I accidentally clicked the AI improve text thing and it started rewriting my action items.
Okay.
Okay, Steve, under your action items, we have call farmers in merge to reverse and stop service charges. That I assume is what we already talked about.
Yeah,
right?
that can be
Okay.
removed.
Okay, remove that. All right. And then meet with Lawrence about QuickBooks Lesson 2. That's still relevant, right?
Yeah, it's still relevant. Still gotta talk to him.
Okay, and then I think this upload board meeting videos, is that the one from way back where we had a number of edits?
Yeah, there's that one, and there's a few others that I've been slacking on. I need to pick up the pace.
I'll leave that there then.
Yeah.
And then contact Alba to get more info on event registration for charities. Is that still relevant?
Yes, yes. A whole thing that I need to learn a bit more about, and then when we do our own fundraising, that's going to be extremely relevant.
Okay, and then reach out to Alba for more collab opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that completes the action items section.
Wow.
So yeah, if there's nothing else to add, then I think it's a good time to adjourn.
All right, sounds good. Much appreciated. Very glad to have you back, Peter.
I'm glad to be back. All right, meeting adjourned at 27 a.m.
Sounds good. Stop.
See you guys later.